It is my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker, Mr. Joydeep Dasgupta, sir, a veteran journalist and certified fact-checking trainee. He has worked with organizations like Z News and Sahara TV and currently heads News Sense and Media Skills Lab. He is also an accredited trainee on the global networks, including the Google News Initiative. I invite sir to please come up on stage and take over.
Good afternoon, everyone, students. So before I start, let me explain some guidelines before I start. You have to submit 2 forms in order to get certificate at the end of the session. First, pre-test form, and at the conclusion of the session, you have to submit post-test form. I will share the QR code. And also at the end of the session, we will be having this Fekshala championship. So from respective colleges, universities, or we will create certain groups, 10 or 5-10 groups, more than I think 10 to 15 groups, and then we will be having some plays, some games over media literacy, and then we will select from the group itself who will be the particular group, or a particular student can be the Fekshala champion of the year. And they will be getting some certificates, additional certificates from Fekshala, supported by Google News Initiative, and then some mementos or some kind of special prizes. So Anushka has already introduced me. My name is Joydeep Dasgupta. I am also associated with SNU as a visiting faculty, and I run a digital magazine called News Sense, where we practice solution approach of journalism. On the other hand, I am also the founder of Media Skills Lab, where we train students practicing journalists on how to fact check, how we can develop new way of journalism like AI in journalism, solution journalism, data journalism, then basically fact checking. I am also associated with India's largest media literacy network, which is called Fekshala. पाठशाला का इक्वल टू इज फैक्टशाला, राइट? फैक्ट को हम लोगों को सीखना चाहिए, किस तरह से मीडिया लिटरेसी प्रैक्टिस किया जाए वो हम लोग समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. So this is the pre-test form. I will request all of you to submit this form. Also I will tell Anushka to share the link in the group itself. There is a link and you can scan the link and submit, and then I will start the session accordingly. Because you have to submit both the forms, pre-test and post-test form, only to be eligible for getting the certificates. Come closer ना, पीछे वाले सामने आ जाओ. सामनेও চলে আসতে পারো, যেখানে ফাঁকা ফাঁকা জায়গাগুলো আছে চলে আসতে পারো. खुल गया सबका? खुलेছে সবার? If you face any kind of difficulty, you can ask me. Done? Submitted. লিঙ্ক দেবো আলাদা করে? ঠিক। যারা রেজিস্ট্রেশন করছিল ওরা এসছে ভেতরে? Submitted. Submitted? Okay. Let me briefly tell you about Fake Shala. As I have already said, Fake Shala University Network is a nationwide campaign for media literacy in order to encourage everyone to practice media literacy. Why media literacy is important, I will explain in coming slides. This initiative was launched in the year 2020, and so far we have empowered millions of people in India. We have reached out to the grassroots level we have conducted trainings with farmers in Sundarban. Then I have conducted several trainings in border areas like Indo-Bangladesh border, in Indo-China border, in Tawang, Arunachal Pradesh. And then we have conducted trainings, media literacy trainings for sex workers here in Shonagachi. And different segment of the society, different kind of people are being trained time to time under this initiative. So far we have conducted more than 2,500 workshops, and 60 million people have been reached through these trainings. Then 600,000 impressions generated through innovation labs prototypes, and then 5.5 million impressions generated through a Pakshala ambassador program, and more than 66 million people have been benefited so far because of with these workshops, Pakshala initiative sessions, training session and workshops. These are some of the trainings being conducted across the country, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari to Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh. And Pakshala is not just a curriculum, we also practice Pakshala in different modes like street plays, village walks, then flash mobs, community champions. And let me briefly tell you about SisterNiveditaUniversity Network program. It is a program where we particularly focuses involved with the faculty and students of colleges and universities with media literacy program. Basically, the aim of media literacy hub is to integrate media literacy into teaching by establishing hubs across the country. We have 2 hubs in Kolkata. One is SisterNiveditaUniversity to build a resilience to misinformation by training young generation of content creators and storytellers. Since most of you are in social media, you develop contents, so you need to know how you can use social media to benefit yourself as well as for the benefit of the society, and how you can practice ethical behavior or digital behavior. What should be your behavior towards when you are in social media. Then to strengthen community engagement and foster lifelong learning through this kind of sessions, basically, media literacy sessions. These are some of the hubs, media literacy hubs. SNU is one of them. So I will be taking you through 3 modules today: Foundation of Media Literacy and Google Super Searches. आप लोग सब गूगल में सर्च करते हो, लेकिन किस तरह से सर्च करना चाहिए, सर्च करने का भी कुछ तरीका होता है, कुछ डिसिप्लिन्स होता है. I will tell you how we can do that. There is an entire session called Boolean search technique. You can Google the term. You will know how to search. There is an entire lecture or session, day-long session on Boolean search. How to search, how to develop your search practices while you are searching through any search engine, not just Google. Then finally, critical thinking and media literacy in the age of deep fake. Since we are no more in the age of digital, we are not in the digital age, we have already entered AI age. So we should know how to behave while we are in social media. So I will help you understand how to practice critical thinking and media literacy in the age of deep fakes. So let me begin with foundation of media literacy. So in this session, the session learning goals are defining media literacy and its relevance, misinformation ecosystem. In order to understand media literacy, we have to understand what exactly is the present landscape, media landscape and misinformation ecosystem that exists. Identifying reliable sources, characteristic of credible sources versus unreliable sources. Since we all know that the credibility of any information depends upon the credibility of the source, right? So in order to understand what is the reliable source, so there is an entire there will be 3 or 4 slides explaining what sources are called credible sources and what are reliable and unreliable sources. Then we need to understand, since most of you are students of journalism and mass communication, we must know what is the difference between news and opinion, why getting it right matters. Then what are the characteristics of misinformation? क्योंकि फेक न्यूज़ या फिर मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन डिस इन्फॉर्मेशन को समझने के लिए भी उसके कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को समझना जरूरी होता है कि किसको हम न्यूज़ बोलेंगे, किसको हम मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन बोलेंगे. हाउ यू कैन आइडेंटिफाई दैट, आई विल हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. एंड एट द सेम टाइम हाउ यू कैन वेरीफाई कंटेंट्स, whether this information is right or wrong, that also I will help you understand. So we all know information is power, right? Information is lifeblood, is the lifeblood of a just society and a robust democracy, we say. We all know that information empowers us. कोई भी छोटा बड़ा information, कभी भी कुछ भी इंफॉर्मेशन हमको चाहिए होता है तो हम क्या करते हैं, वी सर्च ऑन गूगल, राइट? व्हेन वी गेट इंफॉर्मेशन वी फील एम्पावर्ड. सिर्फ इंफॉर्मेशन से एम्पावर नहीं होते, एट द सेम टाइम व्हाट वी डू, इट हेल्प्स अस टू टेक इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजंस इन आवर लाइफ, वेदर इट बी पर्सनल और प्रोफेशनल. आप लोग जब एडमिशन के लिए आए होंगे तो यू पीपल हैव सर्च थ्रू सेवरल यूनिवर्सिटीज एंड कॉलेजेस, राइट? फैकल्टी कैसा है, फी स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है, पढ़ाई होता है कि नहीं. जब आपको इंफॉर्मेशन, राइट इंफॉर्मेशन मिला, देन यू वेर एबल टू टेक राइट काइंड ऑफ डिसीजंस. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड द राइट काइंड ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन. इंफॉर्मेशन इज पावर. Without information, people can neither understand nor effectively respond to the events that shape their lives and the world. So information is very important. So this is some of the अभी information important तो है, but at the same time you can see the deluge, information deluge. इतना ज़्यादा information. We are living in this AI age, digital age, social media structure. You can see 9 million estimated searches on Google every day. This is more than 1 lakh searches every second. कितना सर्च होता है गूगल में हर दिन, एक सेकंड में? 500 million people use Instagram stories every day. 6,000 tweets are being posted on Tweets X every second. 1 million hours of videos are watched on YouTube every day. 100 billion messages are being sent through WhatsApp every day. 2.11 billion people use Facebook daily in the year 2024. Now we are in 25, right? The number has increased so far. And this data is from 2024, you can say. But you can understand the kind of the volume of information that we come across every second, every minute. So क्या हो रहा है, क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा information है. So it is very confusing at times when we are in digital space or social media. We come across lot more of information and it creates a kind of confusion. Which one is right, which one is wrong? That's why media literacy is important. In order to identify, in order to filter information, it is very important to understand how to identify which information is correct, which is wrong. Now, see, in order to understanding, we need to understand this information landscape, how this landscape has changed over the years. Today we have access to more information that at any point of time in human history. मानव जाति के इतिहास पे पहली बार we are passing through a phase or age that we are having access to so much of information. कुछ दिन पहले हम लोग बोल रहे थे कि information नहीं मिल रहा है, information मिला तो information is power, content is king. Now the content is some kind of pollution. इतना ज़्यादा information. So information deluge से क्या होता है? Challenges. These are some of the challenges we come across when we deal with, when we face, when we go and search for particular information and we come across हजारों, बहुत सारे links हमारे पास आ जाते हैं. Now it is very difficult to identify, to shift whether this information is correct or wrong, right? Sorting the truth from misinformation. These are some of the challenges of information, so much of information deluge. Sorting the truth from misinformation, how to find out the right information from so much of information. Then facing analysis paralysis. this is a new phenomena, the feeling of being unable to make sense of lot of information. इतना ज़्यादा information आ जा रहा है कि हमारे अंदर एनालिसिस पैरालिसिस आ जा रहा है कि समझ नहीं पा रहे, वी गेट डिस्टर्ब्ड और फिर छोड़ ही देते हैं हम लोग सर्च करना. Then choosing to trust information that agrees closest with your belief system. बहुत जल्दी हम लोग वही ट्रस्ट कर लेते हैं जो हम लोग वेरीफाई भी नहीं करते whether this information is right or wrong. Since we every individual is biased, at the same time we all have our own belief system. तो हमारे बिलीफ सिस्टम के हिसाब से जो हो रहा है वही इंफॉर्मेशन हमको लगता है कि सही है, and then we adopt that information. Then unwittingly becoming a cog in the spread of information. We keep on sharing memes, jokes, satirical contents, right? This way also we are also the carrier of fake news, misinformation or disinformation. अगर हम लोग सटायर भी शेयर करते हैं सोशल मीडिया में, कुछ भी वीडियो शेयर करते हैं, then we are irresponsible people because we are sharing wrong information to people and it gets amplified. Taking a rushed decision that can lead to harm. Immediately इतना सारा information आ रहा है, decide नहीं कर पा रहे, immediately emotionally driven कुछ contents आया, उसको लेके we get excited, we take actions, and this can lead to real life harms. Law and order situation खराब हो जाता है कभी-कभी. Then adopt health advices without realizing the danger. ये हम लोगों ने कोविड के समय बहुत सारा examples we have seen. We have taken so much of advices from people in Facebook. बहुत सारे तरीके के टोटके, बहुत तरह का दवाई, मेडिसिन, वैक्सीन को लेके जो भी मैसेजेस आए हमारे पास, we try to adopt or we were agreeing to that kind of content and started following such people, and this can do lot more of harms. Now, without media literacy, we are vulnerable to manipulation, misinformation, propaganda, and clickbait. If we don't have media literacy, we don't practice media literacy, then we are prone to be a part of digital echo chambers, social media spaces that resonates with our own belief system, whether it is right or wrong. If it aligns with our own belief system, we agree to that. Exposed to cyber security risks like scams, phishings, and identity theft, which we face time to time. Consumers of dubious healthcare treatment and easy fix medicine, ये सब भी होता है, is a part. Limited exposure to diverse perspective. These are some of the ways without media literacy we will be facing this. These are some of the consequences. So we need to have media literacy. Let us see some examples. Every day we come across several news in newspapers. Say for example, this one, a 75-year-old man duped rupees 11 crore in Mumbai. This is the scam and this is the impact. Over the next 2 months, the victim made 22 transactions amounting to rupees 11.1 crore to multiple bank accounts. Unknowingly, he has shared his OTP and bank account details to someone, और जो होता है कि जामतारा गैंग आ जाता है and then ये होता है. This is not the only one. This is something misinformation leads to communal situations. Lot more of Manipur incidents. अभी भी recent बहुत सारे incidents हो रहे हैं हमारे आसपास that are being triggered by some kind of misinformation and disinformation. Contents आते हैं, we get emotionally driven and then there is some kind of disturbances. This is also one kind of impact of misinformation or disinformation, you can say, because this is we come across this term called digital arrest. आप लोगों को सबको पता होगा what is digital arrest, how people are being duped. ये भी है दिसंबर का घटना, 99,000 former Miss India winner put under digital arrest for 2 hours loses 99,000, around 1 lakh rupees. And how does media literacy help? नेविगेटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन ओवरलोड. बहुत सारा इंफॉर्मेशन, मैंने बोला कि इंफॉर्मेशन बहुत तरह के इंफॉर्मेशन आते हैं. रिकॉग्नाइजिंग द क्रेडिबल सोर्स एमिड्स फ्लड ऑफ कंटेंट. इतना ज़्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन आ रहा है, तो हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई विच वन इज करेक्ट, दिस मीडिया लिटरेसी only can help you with. Combating misinformation and fake news, developing skills to verify information before sharing. So media literacy practices help us in disseminating right kind of information, consume right kind of information, and media literacy skills are regarded as the 21st century skill. जिसके पास भी स्मार्टफोन है, those who are handling those who handle internet, smartphones must know these basic skills, media literacy skills. Understanding media influence, awareness of how media shapes opinions, values and decisions, and then empowering informed decision making. जैसे मैं बता रहा था कि whenever we get information we feel empowered. Now the question is whether that information is right or wrong. How you will get to know whether this information is right or wrong? You need to practice media literacy skills. Some of the skills I'm coming into which will help you in informed decision making practices. So before we go more deep, let us try to understand what is misinformation and disinformation. आप लोगों ने पढ़ा ये, आप लोगों ने disinformation, misinformation difference? Anyone? Anyone from this side?
Misinformation is not intentional, whereas disinformation is intentionally spreading the fake news.
Yes, most of us are media students, so we won't use this term called fake news. News कभी भी fake नहीं होता, ठीक है? News सही होता है. We all are, क्योंकि हमारे लिए sacred है ये term. So we use this, we don't use fake news. We use this term called misinformation and disinformation. Now, what is misinformation? That the information is false, but the person who is sharing is unaware whether this information is right or wrong. Like Polumi has said, ki information which is shared unintentionally is called misinformation, and disinformation is information that is false, but the person who is sharing the information does it intentionally. हम लोग देखते हैं कि बहुत तरीके के लोग होते हैं, पर्टिकुलरली बड़े बड़े इंडस्ट्रीज, पर्टिकुलरली लॉबिस्ट, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज resorts to disinformation during election. हम लोगों को पता है, they create informations to manipulate voters. So intentionally जब कभी कोई information create किया जाता है, उसको misinformation, disinformation बोलते हैं. And when information which is false but disseminated, which we normally do, what we do is without verifying when we share information, that comes under misinformation. Intentional and unintentional. Now let us try to understand what are the common types of misinformation. क्या क्या होता है? False context, factually correct content that is shared with a false contextual information. Say for example, the picture or video may be right, but the context with which the video or the image has been shared is wrong. बहुत समय देखते हैं हम लोग, कुछ एग्जाम्पल आई विल शेयर. फोटो सही है, वीडियो सही है, लेकिन कंटेक्स्ट गलत है, which creates a negative notion and negative idea about a particular subject. Then fabricated content created wrongly, we can say, content that is 100% false, designed to deceive and harm, in order to harm, in order to create, do harm basically. Manipulated content that is edited or modified. बहुत समय हम लोग देखते हैं कि ऑडियो वीडियो क्लिप्स आर मैनिपुलेटेड. So this comes under manipulated content. False belief, misconception results from incorrect reasoning. Sometimes we don't understand the thing, we believe it differently, and then we share those information. Then unproven remedies and treatments. It is particularly comes under medical misinformation and disinformation. Unproven medical products and methods that claim to diagnose, prevent and cure. साइंटिफिकली प्रूवन नहीं है, बट जैसे कि हम लोगों ने कोविड के समय कुछ कुछ एग्जाम्पल देखे थे कि गर्म पानी पियो, अदरक खाओ तो कोविड भाग जाएगा. दिस इज नॉट साइंटिफिकली प्रूवन, बट हाँ गले के लिए आराम देता है. we get relieved out of cough and cold, but this is not scientifically proven कि कोविड या फिर कोरोना वायरस को मारने के लिए जिंजर इज इफेक्टिव. बहुत कुछ हुआ था, हम लोगों ने एग्जाम्पल दिया. किसी ने तो सैनिटाइजर खा लिया था, और यहाँ हाँ इनफैक्ट हम लोगों ने देखा वेस्ट बंगाल में बहुत सारे इंसिडेंट्स हुए हैं, यूपी, बिहार, देन राजस्थान. और अगर इंटरनेशनली मैं एक एग्जांपल आपको शेयर करता हूँ कि मोर देन 700 पीपल हैव बीन किल्ड इन ईरान बिकॉज ऑफ दिस काइंड ऑफ मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन. कोविड के वजह से नहीं मरा, वहाँ पे बताया जाए एक गांव था ईरान में, वहाँ पे ये मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन फैला दिया गया था कि अल्कोहल कंज्यूम करो तो कोरोना वायरस नहीं पकड़ेगा. तो यहाँ पे भी हम लोगों ने लाइन देखा बहुत वाइन शॉप्स के बाहर, लेकिन वहाँ पे ये हुआ था कि सबने बैठा, गांव इकट्ठा बैठ के वहाँ अल्कोहल कंज्यूम करना शुरू किया कंटिन्यूअसली नॉन स्टॉप, और 3 दिन में पूरा गांव साफ. 700 पीपल हैव बीन किल्ड. आई विल शेयर यू द लिंक. लेट मी शेयर यू द स्टोरी विद यू. जस्ट अ सेकंड. किसी ने सैनिटाइजर पिया था, सैनिटाइजर से नहाया था या पिया था. यूपी के लखनऊ में हुआ था एक इंसिडेंट जहाँ पे सैनिटाइजर से नहा लिया था तो पूरा शरीर जल गया था, तो उसको हॉस्पिटलाइज करना पड़ा था. लेट मी शो यू दिस एग्जाम्पल. This is the story. This is the story. Over 700 people died after drinking alcohol to cure coronavirus. This is the result of basically they were not trained of basically media literacy. ट्रेनिंग उनको नहीं मिला था शायद, इसके वजह से दे फॉल विक्टिम टू दिस काइंड ऑफ मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन. नाउ व्हाट आर द रीजंस व्हाई वी फॉल फॉर मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन. क्यों मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन के चपेट में हम लोग पड़ते हैं. व्हाई वी बिकेम victim of misinformation and disinformation. Sometimes it is difficult to understand complex information. बहुत सारा information आ जाता है, difficulty हो जाता है, तो ठीक है मान लेते हैं, accept कर लेते हैं. Then difficulty in processing of too much of information. এত বেশি ইনফরমেশন আমাদের কাছে আসছে, কোনটা বুঝতে পারছি না, কোনটা ঠিক, কোনটা যা একটা বলছে ঠিক আছে চলো মেনে নিচ্ছি কাইন্ড অফ. Then sharing information with others to feel connected. অনেক সময় কি হয় তাড়াহুড়ো করে in order to break a story, আরে আমি প্রথম স্টোরি পেয়েছি, আমি শেয়ার করি, আমার গ্রুপেই আগে শেয়ার করি, ওইখানে শেয়ার করলে ওইখানে 50 জন আছে, ওদের নেটওয়ার্কে আবার ওরা শেয়ার করা শুরু করলো। দিস ওয়ে information, disinformation and misinformation gets amplified. Then difficulty in assessing verified and credible information on time. অনেক সময় আমরা চেক করতে চাই না whether this information is right or wrong. মনে হচ্ছে ঠিক হচ্ছে, কারণ আমি আমার বিলিফ সিস্টেম ওই, তো প্লিজ ডু শেয়ার কাইন্ড অফ, we randomly keep on sharing information. And finally, human biases. We all have biases, right? So this also triggers our action to spread misinformation and disinformation. क्योंकि particular bias, हम bias है, एक तरफा है, हमको लगता है चलो शेयर करते हैं तो शेयर करते हैं, and वो amplify होते रहते हैं, filter bubbles and all these things are there. Now motives for sharing false information कभी कभी इंटेंशनली भी नहीं होता है, अनइंटेंशनली भी होता है. मिस्टेक्स, कोई जेन्युइन मिस्टेक, फोटो या वीडियो गलती से शेयर हो गया, वो एम्पलीफाई हो गया. देन सटायर, हार्मलेस एंटरटेनमेंट, दिस आर आल्सो द टाइप्स ऑफ मिसइंफॉर्मेशन एंड डिसइंफॉर्मेशन. सटायरिकल, किसी पब्लिक पॉलिटिकल लीडर का कोई सटायरिकल वीडियो आया है तो हम लोग शेयर कर देते हैं, और कोई वीडियो आया, फोटो आया, इमेज आया, वी कीप ऑन शेयरिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ कंटेंट्स, क्योंकि हम लोगों को मजा आता है, राइट? कोई किसी का मजाक उड़ा के, तो that is harmless entertainment, but at the same time when you keep on sharing this kind of information, एक narrative create होता है, एक particular political leader के लिए, एक political leader या कोई public figure के लिए. This is also a wrong practice to share any kind of information without verifying. Then publicity, propagating a particular cause. कोई भी एक community, कोई भी एक group, कोई भी एक organization, they keep on sharing, propagating their kind of belief system or their cause, and वो भी कभी कभी गलत हो सकता है, motives हो सकता है. Then financially, we all know financial scams होते हैं. These are motivated and intentional when they keep on sharing phishing links, फिर likes, forward, share, हम लोग जो लोग करते हैं तो उससे भी content create करते हैं so that we can earn something. Financial होता है. Political motives, as I have said, example कि election से पहले हम लोग देखते हैं, इंडिया में भी बहुत सारा case studies we have during election, state election या फिर general election, we see that various kind of narratives or claims आता है सामने कि particular political leader गलत है, particular political party गलत है, ये scam किया है, वो scam किया है, in order to create a narrative before election, and which can also influence the voters during voting. Then psychological biases, deep personal likes and dislikes. मुझे पसंद है इसलिए मैं शेयर कर रहा हूँ, तो this also comes under the motives for sharing false information. Then cultural background, family orientation, cultural setting, values, this also triggers why we share this kind of information, wrong information or false information. Now what are the dangers? जब unintentionally, intentionally हम लोग शेयर करते हैं, लेकिन क्या क्या dangers है because of misinformation? Distortion of facts, बार बार repeatedly, please come inside, come. Done with the registration, I think, so you can participate now, come. So distortion of facts, when repeatedly wrong information are being shared, तो fact टूट जाता है, right information नहीं आता है सामने. Misinformation that targets marginalized groups, बहुत सारे segments है society में, बहुत different groups को, particular groups, particular ethnicity, particular community को targeted किया जाता है इस तरह के misinformation और disinformation की वजह से. Rise of public health related misinformation, out of 100% misinformation, ये बताया जाता है कि मैक्सिमम अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड इट इज 75% ऑफ मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन आर हेल्थ रिलेटेड मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन. हम लोग इंडिया में पॉलिटिकल मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन डिसइन्फॉर्मेशन देखते हैं, लेकिन ग्लोबली इट इज हेल्थ. देन डिस्टोर्शन ऑफ सोशल फैब्रिक एंड कम्युनल हार्मनी. अभी सबसे बड़ा एनीवन कैन यू शेयर व्हाट इज द biggest impact or danger of misinformation? Anyone? Violence is there. Communal rights, right? From this side? Anyone? Anything. Just sorry. Yes, डिफेमेशन में भी हाँ कुछ भी हो सकता है. बहुत सबसे बड़ा इफेक्ट मुझे लगता है, हम लोगों को लगता है कि ट्रस्ट, क्योंकि इतना ज्यादा गलत इंफॉर्मेशन देखते हैं ना आसपास, तो एक दूसरे को हम लोग ट्रस्ट नहीं कर सकते. वी बिकम स्केप्टिकल. यस ये हाँ यस. इरोजन ऑफ ट्रस्ट सबसे बड़ा मुझे लगता है, क्योंकि एक दूसरे को हम लोग ट्रस्ट नहीं कर सकते. दिस इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट डेंजर ऑफ मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन. एंड इट फाइनली इट इज हार्म टू डेमोक्रेसी. जब इस तरह के गलत इंफॉर्मेशन, गलत नैरेटिव क्रिएट होता है, तो हम लोगों को पता नहीं है राइट डिसीजन. इतने सारे इंफॉर्मेशन, लेकिन कौन सा सही कौन सा गलत, क्या क्या चीजें ड्राइव करते हैं हम लोगों को एक डिसीजन लेने में, वो बहुत ज़्यादा डिस्टर्बेंस क्रिएट हो जाता है. अपने अंदर ही हम लोग फाइट करते रहते कि पता ही नहीं चल पा रहा कि क्या राइट इंफॉर्मेशन किस तरह से समझे. Now tell me what is your primary source of information? From where you people get information from? Huh? ऑनलाइन बुक्स. ओके हाँ गूगल है, हाँ ट्विटर, एक्स. और कहाँ से मिलता है? फैमिली ग्रुप्स भी तो होते हैं, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप, फ्रेंड्स ग्रुप है, सोशल मीडिया. यस सोशल मीडिया ऑल्सो, राइट, गुड. सोशल मीडिया, फैमिली मेंबर्स, नेबर ग्रुप्स, फ्रेंड्स का ग्रुप होता है, क्लासमेट्स का ग्रुप होता है, हमारे फैकल्टी का ग्रुप है, स्टूडेंट्स का ग्रुप है, सेक्शंस का ग्रुप है, डिपार्टमेंट्स का ग्रुप अलग अलग होता है. वहाँ पे हम लोगों को इन्फॉर्मेशन, क्लास रिलेटेड इन्फॉर्मेशन, एग्जाम रिलेटेड इन्फॉर्मेशन, ये सारे मिलते हैं. गॉसिप्स के लिए हम लोग अपने अपने ग्रुप क्रिएट करते हैं, क्रेजी कजिन्स एंड ऑल. कजिन्स में, फ्रेंड्स के अंदर भी होता है. देन इन्फॉर्मेशन, न्यूज, वीडियोस, पोस्ट which are being shared on social media. अच्छा तुमने देखा वो सोशल मीडिया में आया है, वो इन्फॉर्मेशन सही है काइंड ऑफ, तो कीप ऑन शेयरिंग. व्हाट्सएप पे वीडियो आया, देखो ये हो रहा है, तो एग्जाम पीछे जा सकता है, चलो और ज्यादा टाइम मिलेगा काइंड ऑफ. तो दिस आर द थिंग. देन कम्युनिटी लीडर्स से भी हम लोगों को इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल रहा है कि कहाँ कब क्या होने वाला है. देन रिलीजियस लीडर्स, कम्युनिटी रेडियो स्टेशंस, टेलीविजन, न्यूज़पेपर, ब्लॉग्स, पॉडकास्ट and authorized websites. These are all reliable and non-reliable, not so reliable sources of information. Why I am saying not all the information, not all the sources of information here are right. क्योंकि हम लोगों ने देखा कि कितना ज़्यादा सोशल मीडिया को हम लोग we can use as a medium of marketing, or we can use we can gather information, but at the same time these are the place from where social media particularly, इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि where it is the place where misinformation and disinformation breathes and spreads सबसे ज़्यादा. So you have to be alert. I'm not saying कि social media account बंद कर दो, it is very useful. Social media platforms are very useful for us, but at the same time we need to use social media and digital platform intelligently. इसलिए बोला जाता है न्यूज रिलायबल एंड अनरिलायबल न्यूज सोर्सेस. Now I have shown you the list of reliable and non-reliable news sources. Why these are reliable and news sources and why they are not unreliable? They are unreliable sources, news sources. These are the basic difference basically. News sources वही reliable है. Conventional media we trust on television, newspaper, radio. Then these are some of the traditional news organization, but at the same time we need to check all these things. Authority and credibility, established reputation. If the news organization is a बहुत पुराना organization हो, say for example they are running news for 50-60 years, 10 years or 15 years, practicing practicing ethical journalism, we can say, transparency, clear authorship and accountability, or fact checking. They have employed fact checking skills in every step of their journalism practices. Balanced and objective presentation of news, but at the same time there are unreliable news sources. How you will identify whether this news source is unreliable? Lack of credibility, anonymous or unknown authorship, no proven accountability or trustworthiness. So जहाँ पे किसी को particularly कोई authoritative quote नहीं है, that organization or that news cannot be trusted very easily. Then sensationalism and clickbait, using exaggerated headlines to attract clicks, prioritizes virality over accuracy, no fact checking, publishes without verifying any kind of information, relies on rumors and unverified sources. अभी हम लोग बहुत सारे टीवी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन न्यूज़ चैनल्स में भी देखते हैं कि they run stories with a disclaimer saying कि unverified kind of. So this is not responsible journalism. Strong biases or agenda, with particular agenda अगर कोई न्यूज़ प्रेजेंट किया जाता है, this is not a reliable source, we can say, not a reliable news organization or news source. Now let me show you some example and you tell me whether this information is reliable or not reliable. Anyone? The official, speaking on the condition of anonymity, remarked, this scheme is likely to be launched in January next year and will benefit millions of people. This, he said, is directly from the top authority. ये reliable है information or not reliable? Why? Okay, most of you know why it is not reliable, because the original source is not quoted, right? It is just sources. जैसे normally हम लोग news organization में news चलाते हैं. This is not the right practice. You have to, in order to give right information, you have to quote right people or from the right authority. It should come from a right authority, top authority.
No, but on several occasions, as journalists, we go with anonymous.
We do practice, but at the same time,
And it depends mostly on if this news was published by advertised media
organization.
kind of part that is true, but if it's transmitted by or it's published by New Talk Party, maybe I don't know like what is it, New Talk Party, then I would be quite believe.
Right.
So the source of the news is also
What about this? Since the physician is not being identified and at the same time it is from messaging forward, दो गलतियां हैं. WhatsApp forward. Okay, misinformation. Now, can anyone explain what is the difference, basic difference between news and opinion? View. Viewpoint of a particular person or right. Good. So purpose, news का purpose क्या होता है? To provide factual, balanced, unbiased account of events. Correct, right, to the point. Opinion to analyze, interpret and critique. टोन एंड स्टाइल भी देखना होगा. न्यूज में न्यूट्रल रहेगा, फैक्ट ड्रिवन लैंग्वेज रहेगा विदाउट इमोटिव और परसुएसिव टोन. बट एट द सेम टाइम ऑन द अदर हैंड ओपिनियन इज परसुएसिव, आर्गुमेंटेटिव. इस तरह से प्रेजेंट किया जाएगा कि मान लो मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ मेरा व्यू सही है काइंड ऑफ. इमोशनल टोन रहेगा, ऑफन अपीलिंग टू बिलीफ और वैल्यूज. सोर्स यूज्ड, न्यूज में वेरीफाइड सोर्सेस आर बीइंग यूज्ड, eyewitness account or official statements. On the other hand, opinion often uses selective evidences or example to support a particular viewpoint. Reader and viewer impact, news में होता है empower audience with information for decision making. On the other hand, opinion influences perspective and foster debates. मैं 4 एग्जांपल शेयर कर रहा हूं. प्लीज टेल मी which one is news, which one is opinion, which one is analysis. 2 for this side, first 2, and next second 2 for this side. News, opinion or analysis. And yes. One by one. Okay.
Second one, the influence-based one is the news.
Hmm.
And the third one is actually opinion. No, analysis, and the last one I think is opinion.
Yes. Anyone from this side? Same? Yes. Now how to address misinformation? अभी मैंने बोला types, challenges, what difficulties, all about misinformation and disinformation. Now as a media literacy practitioner or as a verified fact checker or as a fact checker, how you can address this kind of misinformation. First, there are some advanced methods, like there are certain tools and mechanism to verify information. We all know that information comes to us mainly in 3 different formats: written text, videos and images. Now we need to verify this kind of information. How we can do that? At the initial level, we don't have to use any kind of tools and techniques or methods, but what we can do is whenever we come across any kind of information, observe. First and foremost thing is जल्दीबाजी मत करना. कोई भी information, WhatsApp forward, social media message हमारे पास आता है, तो what we can do is first carefully observe the contents of the news. You want to say something? Yes. Loud. If in order to just say, for example, if we need to know, we need to understand the weather condition, we will check the report from weather department. ठीक है, कल क्या weather होगा, in order to get any kind of forecasting, that we can do since they are the authoritative sources. So first and foremost thing, we need to understand that the credibility of the information depends upon the credibility of the source. सोर्स अगर सही होगा तो इन्फॉर्मेशन भी सही होगा, तो इसलिए उसको चेन को पकड़ना होगा कि ये इन्फॉर्मेशन जो आ रहा है कहाँ से आ रहा है, फ्रॉम वेयर द इन्फॉर्मेशन इज कमिंग, हु इज द सोर्स. फर्स्ट थिंग वी हैव टू इन्वेस्टिगेट दैट. Do not be taken away by in the apparent messaging. जल्दीबाजी में कोई मैसेज आया तुरंत फॉरवर्ड कर दो, ऐसा मत करना. check for yourself, use your own common sense, use your own critical thinking skills. Verify all information using text search, cross checking with website, source check, as well as visual investigation tools and techniques. I will show you some tools how we can do that. These are some of the way. Immediate first and foremost thing is hold. When you get any kind of information which is very much critical और ऐसा लग रहा है कि emotionally बहुत जल्दी share करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं kind of. So it is triggering emotionally, it may be triggering you emotionally कि तुरंत share करो, तुरंत इस group में डालो, वहाँ डालो. Don't do that. Hold information, observe the content of the information thoroughly. Check the source who are sharing the information, whether some political leader, religious leader or any kind of groups, and then take your own, use your own common sense. क्या ऐसा हो सकता है अगर आता है तो who are the verified sources? Say for example मणिपुर वायलेंस के बारे में हम लोगों ने सुना है, अभी भी जो चल रहा है मणिपुर वायलेंस. मणिपुर का जो टू कम्युनिटीज के बीच में फाइट था, मैती एंड कुकीज, तो इट बेसिकली ट्रिगर्ड फ्रॉम ए मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन कि किसी मैती वीमेन को रेप कर दिया गया था कुकी कम्युनिटीज के बीच में. दैट ट्रिगर्ड द वायलेंस और वो कंटिन्यूसली अभी तक चल रहा है, 3 साल हो गए. सो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इंटेंसिटी ए मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन और डिसइन्फॉर्मेशन कैन हैव to our life, in our lives. So first and foremost thing is observation. So step back, observe, decide if it is trustworthy information or not. Yes. Which one? See, for some group it was intentional. Intentionally they were triggering. So it comes under disinformation in order to harm. Now I will be sharing some mix of trustworthy and untrustworthy ones, and you have to identify whether this information is misinformation, disinformation, trustworthy or not. Now tell me. Sun Chansom. This is from the office, don't laugh, this is from the official tweets of former LG of Pondicherry, Kiran Bedi, IPS officer. तो ठीक की ना এটা बोलो. बताओ whether this information is right or wrong. Now if you check the source, check is a authoritative source. किरण बेदी ने शेयर किया ये information. Lot more of political leader does. Chief ministers, prime ministers, बहुत लोग शेयर करते हैं misinformation, disinformation. Please. Untrustworthy. Now how will you check whether this information is right or wrong? Any idea? Anyone? Untrustworthy. He is right. He is somewhere near to the verification. धीरे धीरे आने लगा है मतलब. Anyone? How will you check whether this information is right or wrong? कोई भी शेयर करे, प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी शेयर करे, चीफ मिनिस्टर भी शेयर करे, हम ट्रस्ट चेक करें. कोथा থেকে? नासर ऑफिशियल पेज. You are right. मतलब since it is related to NASA, since they are claiming कि NASA ने इस तरह का रिकॉर्ड किया, we will check the NASA website and this is the result. NASA ने अपने सोशल मीडिया हैंडल में ये दिया है ऑलरेडी. This is the information. NASA has posted a video of audio emanating from the sun which sounds like humming and not om. करके आवाज आ रहा था, तो वो ओम नहीं था, लेकिन उसको मैनिपुलेट किया है. तो यू कैन से इट इज अ मैनिपुलेटेड और फेक इंफॉर्मेशन. और हम लोग क्या करते हैं, सिंस सम बिग पीपल आर शेयरिंग, बिग लीडर्स आर शेयरिंग, इन्फ्लुएंशियल लीडर आर शेयरिंग, सेलिब्रिटीज आर शेयरिंग, वी थिंक कि वो सही है, वी कीप ऑन शेयरिंग दैट इंफॉर्मेशन. What about this? पढ़ लो एक बार. This one. This was being shared on social media widely. Trustworthy? Okay. From this side? Trustworthy? Why? It is a social media post. Right. So what we can do is we can check with the Supreme Court's website or his official handle. Later he come up with this disclaimer. There is a press release issued by Solicitor General Mehta saying that it is a fake forward. So misattribution or fake information. So any photo, जैसा कि मैंने बताया था कि contextual information. फोटो में भी राइट, द इमेज दैट इज बीइंग शेयर्ड इज राइट. हम लोगों ने बहुत देखा रतन टाटा का, जब तक रतन टाटा वाज अलाइव, हिज फोटो, हिज इमेजेस आर बीइंग यूज्ड, वीडियोस आर बीइंग यूज्ड विथ मैनिपुलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन, मिसएट्रिब्यूटेड इंफॉर्मेशन, wrongly presenting a particular person. Now, these are some of the takeaways from this first module. Do not be taken in by the instant messaging of the post. तुरंत आया, वाईसी चंद्रचूड़ ने किया, चीफ जस्टिस ने किया, तो तुरंत शेयर करो. डोंट डू दैट. किरण बेदी ने किया, तुरंत नहीं करना. डोंट शेयर दैट इंफॉर्मेशन immediately. First and foremost thing is to observe the information, verify using your own critical thinking skills, and then if you are convinced that this information is right, only then share that information with your friends and anyone else. Do not click on any link even when it claims to be from an authoritative source. कभी भी कुछ भी क्लिप आया तो don't randomly click those links. Double check the content of the message with legitimate sources. Check using search engines, Google search engines or other social media searching platforms, and then verify your information. Check with your sources. Or simpler still is Google the content of the message, which will lead you to the fact of the content. If you come across any content and you find it difficult to verify, what you can do is you can just copy and put it in search, Google search के लिए या फिर Yahoo search के लिए. Only then you will get to know from various links whether this information is right or wrong. Be aware of this when verifying a post. If the messaging is very loud, कि तुरंत शेयर करो, 10 लोगों को भेजो, don't do that. Is there an authorized logo or a face in the post that is making you trust the post more? Then don't share that information. Say for example, this last example by Chief Justice of India and former Chief Justice of India and former Lieutenant Governor of Pondicherry, Kiran Bedi. इस तरह के फेस या फिर लोगों के साथ कोई इंफॉर्मेशन आए, डोंट शेयर दोस इंफॉर्मेशन, वेरीफाई फर्स्ट एंड देन शेयर. Is the post exaggerated and evokes extreme emotions? बहुत सारे communal disturbances are created because of such kind of comments, such kind of videos. So it is very important for us to verify, observe those information clearly, do your own verification using your own critical thinking skill and then share those information. Do you agree or disagree with the content instantly? Don't see, if you are agreeing with the content and then you are sharing, you can do lot more of harm to lot more of people. So when you are dealing with information, deal with it responsibly. That is very important. Module 2 আছে, break নেবে নাকি 5 minutes. After this will take another 15 to 20 minutes. Google super searches, how we can use Google search engine and become super searches. I will show you the way in the time of AI. Now let us check whether you are super, since you all are being searching using Google for your searches, for whether it be for information gathering, information collection, checking of information whether this information is right or wrong, verifying videos, images. We will check whether you are super searchers or not. We will do search online. You all have, you all are carrying mobile phone, I think. Okay. And generative AI and literacy, media literacy in the age of AI, that we will do. Now the objective of this particular training, super searches, is to train you people to engage critically. Whenever you come across any kind of information, how you can engage those information to verify, to find whether this information is right or wrong. Search more efficiently, how you can search more efficiently using Google platform. Now let us take a closer look on how we search. There is a quiz. Tell me whether this information is right or wrong. Use your, huh? कैसे wrong? How you can use? How can you say कि it is wrong? हाँ? नहीं मिलता है. Search. Now when you are saying it is wrong, then you have to justify. ना कुछ बताओ. Who is saying? पाकिस्तान ने लेज जलेबी लॉन्च किया है. Anyone else? नहीं आया. तो क्या ये गलत है इंफॉर्मेशन? Prank by whom? April Fool बनाया गया था. Right. What about this? Which one is AI created? This one or this one? This one is right. Why? लग नहीं रहा, उल्टा फुल्टा है थोड़ा सा. हाँ? Now you can use Google Lens to check whether this information is right or wrong. Click the picture and you will find out. Let me show you. I think, yes, I have this link. Anushka, you can share the link with them. ये वाला है, Lay's Pakistan announces jalebi flavored chips and pulls April Fool Day prank. ये इनके ऑफिशियल ट्विटर हैंडल में भी है. They have used this to prank people on April Fool Day. Second one मिला, this one. It's a very popular destination in Poland. This is the place. If you do a Google Lens search, you will find out whether this image, this one is the right image. So first one is correct and second one is incorrect. Second one is AI generated. What about this ship grounded on Mumbai beach? Huh? Right or wrong? From this side? Right? Right information or wrong information? मुंबई के बीच में नहीं था ये. Do your own investigation. इतना तो अच्छा सुपर सर्चिंग कर रहे थे. अभी ये दिस वन यू डू. Real information? How you find out? Right. You did Google, you used Google Lens. Okay. Without using Google Lens also, I will show you a method. Let me show you. Image.google.com. ठीक है? You will get this kind of icon, camera icon, or you can upload the image. Here you can upload the image. मैंने ये फोटो सेव करके रखा था, ये वाला. ठीक है. We have to check the verified sources only. This is India Times. So Times of India is a trustworthy news organization. We can take this link and can see. It is in the year 2011. This cargo ship called Wisdom was struck in Juhu Beach. I've also found one link from NDTV. It was struck for 15 days.
I think another easy way would be just go to Google and write wisdom
Yes,
cargo ship plus Mumbai.
yes.
And I think you'll get a lot of
That grounded off Mumbai's Juhu beach a week ago. This operation also failed for a number of reasons, leaving the next window of opportunity only 2 weeks away. It may have no cargo or oil on board, but here's why the ship is worrying environmentalists.
The grounded ship MV Wisdom now stuck on Juhu Beach for at least another 2 weeks, with a third attempt to pull it away failing. On day 1, the salvors could not attach the ship cables to a tugboat. On day 2, the tide was too weak.
The salvors ran out of luck for the third time as the tugboat engine developed a technical snag. Now they will have to wait for a fourth night. But by then, the problems will only get compounded as the ship will sink further into the sand of Juhu Beach.
This could make the bottom of the 9,000-ton cargo vessel heavier, making it more difficult to pull. The next attempt to pull it will be during
So this is the example. This way we can do searches using Google Lens, or say for example simple search mentioning using keywords. First and foremost thing is you can not just use Google, but you can also use like platforms such as yahoo.com, then yandex.com for searching whether this information is right or wrong. Always use less words, between 3 to 5 words, and use inverted comma. Keep the words, keep the sentence in between, and then do the search. It will take you to the specific place where the information is there. So this information is right or wrong? क्या है finally क्या है? Search right or wrong? Right. Yes. So first and foremost thing, you have to check the claims, sources and tracing. Check the claim, then trace something back to the context in order to back your context. This is the way, simple search by using keywords. Also, most of you have used Google Lens. That way also you can search. The choice of words are important. Use specific words and then always use inverted comma. It is not mentioned here. It will take you to the specific result. Can you do this? Tyrannosaurus, Rhinoceros और Dinosaurus नहीं, ऐसा कुछ exist करता था? Right or wrong? Yes. Now we can take a break. Shift method. Let me show you how you can verify any kind of information without using any tools and methods. This is one of the tools, Google Lens or reverse image search. We call it, this method is basically called reverse image search. Searching information using the image which claims to be wrong or right by using tools like Google Lens or image.google.com. Shift is an information literacy framework that takes you through the basic quick source and clip checking. First and foremost thing, whenever you come across any information, what you can do is stop yourself. Don't get overwhelmed or excited or share. Don't do that. First and foremost thing is to stop yourself. Then first and foremost thing is to investigate the source from where the information is coming. Who has developed this particular content? Kisne kiya? What is the motive? Ask yourself. Then find better coverage. Check in the internet using Google search or any other search engine to find out whether any verified news organization are carrying this story or not. Then trace claims, quotes and media to the original context. Verified media organization. I am not saying ki not all the verified news organization presents you with the right information. So always check with at least 2 to 3 verified news organization. That is very important. क्योंकि जर्नलिस्ट से भी गलती होता है, कभी कभी गलत खबर वेरीफाइड न्यूज़ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी चला देते हैं. अभी रिसेंटली वी हैव सीन द एग्जांपल ऑफ अमर्त्य सेन के पासिंग अवे का खबर. इनफैक्ट पीटीआई एंड टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया रन द स्टोरी बट द इंफॉर्मेशन वाज रॉन्ग. सो various verified news organization may be wrong at times. So use your critical thinking skill, at the same time cross check with at least 2 to 3 media organization. That is very important. 2 to 3 verified media organization. Verified means legacy, traditional, जैसे मैंने बताया था, that one. There is another video. Jumur ma'am, Dr. Baro. Let me show you what you have already done or learned.
We find online is not original. The information has often been re-reported multiple times. And in many cases, the more it circulates, the more its meaning can change. It can be stripped of essential context, altered to the point where you may see a radically different version of an event or a research study. Images often get reused online, and it's hard to know if they've been manipulated or if they're misleading. That's why it's important to consider the context of images, claims, or quotes you come across. In this case, tools like reverse image search can help you get the full picture. Go to the Google Images page and click on the camera icon in the search bar. There, you can either paste in the URL of an image or upload an image to reveal a Google search page. If you're on your phone, you can do a reverse image search with Google Lens. Reverse image search will give you information so you can understand the right context about where an image was originally taken, see if it may have been manipulated, and find other sites where the same or similar images appear. You can also do a quick Google search for a claim you want to know more about. If independent fact-checkers have investigated it, snippets may appear below your results to help you understand whether the claim is true, false, or misleading. So you're better equipped to determine the validity of the images, quotes, and claims you come across. Now you're on the right path to more reliable info.
समझा? बुझते पेरेছো? This is all about how you can do reverse image search using simple method of image.google.com. At the same time, you can also use this app called Google Lens. Now, generative AI and information literacy, how it is important, how we can do contextualizing information in a world of AI generated content. Now let me show you what exactly is generative AI. You all know, I know, but at the same time.
Get started with generative AI. Here Ready to get started with generative AI? Here are 5 must-knows. AI is a machine learning model, not a human. AI might provide a response that seems so unique you may wonder if it's human. But AI can't think for itself or feel emotions. It's just great at picking up patterns, known as training. Use AI to empower, assist, and inspire you. AI can help you kickstart the creative process, but it's not there to do the work for you. That's your role as the creator. AI can and will make mistakes. Since generative AI is a work in progress, it may make things up, known as a hallucination. For example, it may predict who the top gymnast in 2035 will be, even though this information isn't available yet. Critically evaluate responses. Always check information that's presented as fact. When in doubt, double check it with Google search. Watch this space as generative AI evolves. Generative AI is a quickly evolving technology, which is why it's critical that it's developed and used responsibly. Learn more at ai.google.
So this is very important since AI is a very evolving thing. First and foremost thing is whatever you generate using AI must be cross-checked by you, since human intelligence is far more better than artificial intelligence. So use AI for creative development, creative content production, but at the same time use your own critical thinking skills to find out whether this information or whether this content or informations are right or wrong. Now check whether this is AI generated. How you will find out whether this image is AI generated or not? Using tools like Gemini and ChatGPT. This is also one of the methods which Google has recently launched to check whether this information is this particular picture or any picture. You can verify whether this one is generated by AI or not. Here if you can click, you will find out the description of the image or the information. Then the images generated by Google are being provided with a particular synthetic synth ID. So this way also you can identify whether this particular image or video is being generated by the Google uses this ID to mark whether this is AI generated or not. So it is for you to understand using this method. Also you can use Google Lens to find out whether this information is created or original. This is the example. Thank you. We have come to the end of second module. We have one more module left. Will be reading this one? No, sir, I'll just.
While we were engaged with this wonderful session, we were joined by our Dean, Professor Dr. Meenal Parekh ma'am. Ma'am, if you could please come up on stage and start this initiative, we would love to hear from you. And also felicitate sir.
So very good afternoon, students. So eventually how many students registered? I think 150, 140, and the turnout of students is almost 50%, which shows that how much awareness we have on learning the literacy of media. So I remember when I was taught by our teachers, our professors, that the first term that was told to us was facts and figures when we went for reporting. Of course, reporting has gone to different standards today, but I don't want to sound negative, but yes, for us, facts and figures were important when we were reporting, even when we were
an active journalist. Even Joydeep was there, actively involved in mainstream journalism. So if facts and figures were not with us, I think news could not be processed. Stories were thrown away, torn away, dropped because the facts and figures were not there. So today, how relevant it is still today is what basically I can talk about, and then how to learn this process is what we thought that especially students who are involved in media in various form, it is just not about TV journalism, it is about mass communication overall, that how much media literacy is important. That is why we went into this collaboration, setting up this fact shala. Thank you so much, Joydeep, for this initiative, because I think this awareness and importance of this should be communicated to students, and I hope that today it's 50%, tomorrow I just hope 100% student register and they realize the importance. And since Sister Nivedita University is one of the only private university, if I'm not wrong, Joydeep, it is from West Bengal, it is the only university which has this initiative. So I would request everyone to please participate. Just do not focus on the certificate that you're going to get, but actually please learn the process. Everything is not fairy tale in this world of mass communication and journalism. So there are certain things which needs to be filtered and communicated to all of you, and this is one of the reasons why we did it. We need the cooperation from students, from faculty members to spread the awareness, and we will keep doing this further also. So thank you so much, and I would like to felicitate Joydeep today. Please come. Joydeep, you are certified Google trainer, right? Yes. So coming from him makes, even I am not. So the kind of things that he knows, probably we also do not know. Yes, absolutely.
They won't get certificate. They won't get certificate otherwise. You also have to submit the post-test form, na? Otherwise you won't be getting that certificate. जिन लोगों ने पहला करके चला गया उनको नहीं मिलेगा certificate. So both the forms must be submitted in order to get certificates from Google. So the last, third and final module is how we can practice what is critical thinking. We will learn media literacy in the age of deepfake. Deepfakes. Deepfakes पता है आप लोगों को? What is deepfakes? Anyone? Deepfake? Loud. Voice? What about voice? Voice big. Right, good. So in this session we will learn we will try to understand what is critical thinking, what are the different kind of biases, AI in media, artificial intelligence, how to practice, how to use AI in media, concept and application, and then finally we will try to understand what exactly is deepfake and artificial intelligence. Now this is one exercise. Tell me whether which one is longer. कैसे पता चल रहा है सेम लाइन है करके? एक तो बड़ा है. You have to give justification. How? Scale लेके नामा? From this side? Same lines? Same lines? Yes. Same lines. Good. We can easily be misled by what we do know as by what we don't. कभी कभी हम लोग बोलते हैं ना seeing is believing. Now seeing is not believing. You have to verify any kind of information and this entire practice is called media literacy. मीडिया लिटरेसी क्यों बोलते हैं? क्योंकि मीडिया को कंज्यूम करने के लिए भी हम लोगों को लिटरेट होना पड़ेगा. लिटरेट with these skills, basic skills of fact checking, so that we can verify information and consume right kind of information. That's why the term is called media literacy. Now in this module we will be learning understanding the concept and importance of critical thinking, role of educators in imparting critical thinking, basically identifying the characteristics of critical thinking. If you are a critical thinker, what are the characteristics you should have in order to verify any kind of information, see at any kind of, looking at any kind of information. Understanding human biases and its types, essential skills to analyze, evaluate any kind of information. These are some of the skills which as a future journalist or practicing journalist we also must know. Develop responsible information consumption and sharing habits. अभी तो हम लोग रैंडमली शेयर कर रहे हैं. आज के बाद इस सेशन के बाद आज मुझे आशा है कि यू पीपल विल प्रैक्टिस लॉजिकली, यू विल शेयर इंफॉर्मेशन. और वही बोला है ना সত্যান্বেষী ফেলুদা, তো আজকের পর সবাই সত্যান্বেষী হয়ে যাবে কাইন্ড. Foster logical reasoning. What is critical thinking? Anyone? Right, good. क्योंकि अगर ये भी लगे कि मैं सही हूँ, वो भी गलत है. If you think yourself कि I am right, I have the right way of analyzing everything, then you are under that particular bias basically. You are also biased कि तुमको ही लगता है, हमको ही लगता है कि मैं ही वेरीफाई करके न्यूज़ दे रहा हूँ, मैं ही सही आदमी हूँ, then it is also wrong. You have to be substantiated by other verified information. Okay, you cannot be always right. So critical thinking in simple term is thinking about thinking. जो हम सोच रहे हैं उसको लोग के भी सोचना जरूरी है. So to analyze information from different perspective. मेरा viewpoint अलग हो सकता है, but at the same time take into consideration of other views as well. Don't think कि whatever knowledge I have, I know everything. Keep on gathering information, take information viewpoints from different perspective. To compare it with similar information. Whatever information you have, compare that information with whether this information which I am possessing is right or wrong. Or check with other similar information. To evaluate information critically, to conclude objectively, to decide what to believe and do. This all comes together, forms critical thinking. Why it is important? Because if we practice critical thinking, it is one of the trait called, it will also promote good information practices. We will, if we practice critical thinking skill, we will be responsible citizen. We will understand, analyze, then we will cast our vote and create a good society, choose the right leader who will rule the country. To become smart consumers. If you can critically analyze everything, you can decide on a particular thing in a critical and a very informative way. To take evidence-based decisions. वो सैनिटाइजर पी लेना वो वैसा नहीं होगा. You will take evidence into consideration, scientific evidence into consideration. Now understanding human biases. Thinking about something or someone in a predisposed way. हमारा एक notion है उसी हिसाब से हम दुनिया को देखते हैं. We have our own thinking ability and we think कि जो हम सोच रहे हैं, जो हम देख रहे हैं, जो हम बोल रहे हैं, that only is right, that only is gospel truth. No, it cannot be. You can take into consideration other viewpoints as well. That is very important. Something we all carry both cognitively and physically. Biases सबके अंदर है. Individually, every one of us has our own kind of biases. Built into every decision we make, if it goes unchecked, it can lead us to in making poor decisions, in taking poor decisions. Now types of human biases, confirmation bias, ये सबके अंदर है naturally. Tendency to believe information that supports our existing beliefs and dismiss information which opposes them. जो हमारा existing belief or viewpoints से match नहीं खाता, we don't accept that kind of information, right? Everyone has that particular bias. This is called confirmation bias. Preconceived notion, age-old thoughts and practices which get pushed through the ages, emotionally charged issues, deeply entrenched political or religious views. This all comes under confirmation bias. Illusory truth biases, tendency to believe information that has been stated multiple times regardless of its accuracy. बार बार कुछ चीज बोला गया है, उसी को हम लोग मान लेते हैं कि सही है, and then we think that way only. We don't look for any other alternative. We don't think about other things from different perspective. बार बार बोल रहे हैं, traditionally it has been followed, so I will follow the same. This is illusory truth biases. These are some other biases called primacy biases, recency biases, motive biases. Biases को लेके लंबा लेक्चर नहीं देने वाला हूँ क्योंकि already we have more than 100 human biases. Confirmation bias सबके अंदर है, हम लोगों के अंदर. We all have, including me and all of you. We all carry certain confirmation biases. अभी मुझे जैसा बोला गया है कि I'm a very certified trainer, तो वो एक biases बना हुआ है मेरे अंदर कि मैं भी introduce करता हूँ अपने आप को कि I am the editor of News Sense, I am the founder of Media Skills Lab, I am a accredited trainer on behalf of Google News Initiative. This is a नोसिप क्योंकि बोलता गया तो मुझे भी लग रहा है कि हाँ है काइंड ऑफ सो ठीक है. Having biases is a human trait. It is a natural thing we all have. Recognizing that our thinking is influenced by biases helps mitigate their impact. ये जानना जरूरी है कि we are also being influenced by biases. तभी हम लोग ठीक ठाक डिसीजन ले पाएंगे. Always look at information whether our existing biases are being influenced or are coming into consideration while taking any kind of decision. ये जानना जरूरी है. So media biases जानना जरूरी है because we will be working with media organizations. Biases by placements, like in most of the media organizations, this exists. Now, sporting media biases, how selection of events, sources, stories that are being reported, particular story, particular subject पे ही story share किया जाता है media organizations में. Stories that are being ignored, very important stories but ignored. This also comes under media biases. Then what facts and information is present versus missing. There are some points which are missing, means they are hiding something. They don't want to bring it to light. Are the same sources used all the time? एक ही नाम repeatedly हम लोग देखेंगे कि एक ही डॉक्टर, एक ही एक्सपर्ट, एक ही authoritative source को ही कोट किया जा रहा है किसी particular media organization. Then this is also comes under media biases. Are the same panelists appearing again? ये हम लोग देखते हैं most of the media organizations में जो panel discussions होते हैं, एक तरह के ही experts आते हैं. They have their own preconceived notion and they keeps on saying on endorsing that kind of information. Diversity in journalists and editors, ownership of news organization, that is very important, who runs the organization, and accordingly the editorial policy also gets changed. How do we exercise critical thinking? This is very important. First and foremost thing is, don't get driven by any kind of information that supports our preconceived views or existing beliefs. Observe information whenever you come across any kind of information from any source, whether it be social media platform or conventional news organization. Observe the information. Use your own critical thinking skill. Use your own scientific outlook with logic. Try to understand that information. Attention is the gateway to understanding. Don't believe everything you see, whether it be in the form of video, image, text. कुछ भी दिखता है तो उसको believe मत करना. Check करना, verify करना. First verify, and once you are convinced that this information is right, then only you can share that information with anyone else. If you are not convinced, ये life में भी you can practice that. मतलब अगर खुद convinced नहीं हो तो वो चीज़ कभी ज़िंदगी में मत करना. If you are convinced, using all your critical thinking skill, convinced होते हो तभी वो खुद भी accept करना और दूसरों को भी share करना. You are clueless about the information and you randomly are sharing that information. It's a wrong practice. Don't do that. Now these are some of the, जैसे मैं बार बार repeat कर रहा हूँ कि critical thinking, reasoning, this is very important. What are the purpose? जब भी कोई information आता है, is the purpose clearly stated or clearly implied? क्या वो justifiable है? You yourself ask yourself. You can ask that question to yourself. Then does the expression of the question do justice to the complexity of the matter at the issue? वो सही है जो क्वेश्चन मैं कर रहा हूँ, is that question right, justified? Think that way. Information. Does the writer cite relevant evidence, experiences or information essential to the issue? किस कोई expert है, कुछ बोल रहा है, whether और कोई writer है, कोई author है, कोई article लिख रहा है, कोई reporter है, वो सारे angles से उस story को cover किया है कि नहीं, उसको भी check करना is very important. Concept, does the writer clarify key concept when necessary? जब जहाँ ज़रूरत पड़ा वहाँ clarification दिया है कि नहीं? Assumption, does the writer shows a sensitivity to what he or she is taking for granted or assuming? उस पर भी reflect होता है, write-ups पे भी reflect होता है, stories पे भी reflect होता है. Point of view, does the writer show a sensitivity to alternative relevant points of view or line of reasoning? ना अपना ही व्यू पॉइंट उसने वहाँ पे डाला है, ये भी देखना ज़रूरी है. Then implications, does the writer show a sensitivity to the implication and consequences of the position he or she is taking? These are some of the things you must consider when you become a reporter or a journalist in future. So first and foremost thing, ऐसा मैसेज आए तो क्या करोगे? फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट थिंग व्हाट यू विल डू व्हेन यू गेट ए मैसेज ऑन योर मोबाइल, व्हाट्सएप में या टेक्स्ट मैसेज आएगा तो? सॉरी, हाँ बहुत बार रिपीट हो गया ना, सोर्सेस थक गया अभी। सब चीज अच्छे से देखो, मतलब विदाउट वेरीफाइंग डोंट कंज्यूम इंफॉर्मेशन और डोंट पास दैट इंफॉर्मेशन टू एनीवन एल्स। जब भी कोई इंफॉर्मेशन आता है तो चेक करो, ओपन द इंफॉर्मेशन, सी फॉर योरसेल्फ, रीड, वेरीफाई, और इफ यू आर कन्विंस्ड दैट दिस इंफॉर्मेशन इज राइट, using all your critical thinking skills, checking with authoritative sources, if you are convinced, then only share that information. These are some of the methods. Without using any basic tools and techniques, what you can do is, जब भी कोई information आए तो check who is the source, who is behind the information, what are the evidence, check for the evidence, and then finally what are the other sources saying. Other sources means other verified news organizations, not one or two, at least 3 verified news organizations. Check with 3 to 4 news organizations. These are some of the clues to verify information. कोई भी information आए, we are reading an article in a tab, then go to a different tab and then search in Google or using any other search engine ki this information exists or not. Get off the site you are on, do a Google search for information you are evaluating, read what trusted and reliable sources are saying about the site or the information. These are some of the checklists for verifying websites like domain name, www.com, .co. ये सारी चीज you people know, I think. You can verify this thing easily. Then go to the about us section of the article. Article पढ़ रहे हैं, then you need to know from where this article is coming. Then go to the about us section of the website which is sharing that article. Check the name of the publisher, who is the publisher, editor, email ID, phone number check करो whether this is. बहुत सारे proxy websites भी exist करते हैं, बहुत सारे satirical websites भी exist करते हैं. तो it is our responsibility to check with using all available resources. Then author, pay attention to the article's author. बहुत तरह के authors होते हैं, particular viewpoint, particular lobby, particular interest. तो जो author article लिख रहा है उसका भी थोड़ा सा analysis करना ज़रूरी है. Whether he is a practicing journalist, what kind of article he writes. See, go through, check. It might be a satirical website or proxy website. Spelling error, बहुत समय हम लोग देखते हैं सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट में या फिर व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस में बहुत सारे स्पेलिंग एरर्स होते हैं, बोल्ड लेटर्स में लिखा होता है. These are also some of the clues that this information may be not right. So that will trigger your action, check and verify this information. Then comments are very important areas which can give you right clues. Say for example, if you are consuming information from Twitter, Facebook or any other social media platform, go to the comment section. वहाँ पे कोई ना कोई होगा जो clue देगा कि ये information गलत है. Cross check with his observations and you will find out that this information may be right. Date and time, this is very significant. We have seen during the COVID's worst phase कि जो articles आ रहे थे, travel guidelines, restrictions, फिर ICMR के guidelines, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare के guidelines, repeatedly same guidelines, the first year of COVID were being shared in during the second waves as well. So date and time हम लोग check करके देखेंगे तो we will find that this one is the old video. In fact बहुत सारे channels में हम लोगों ने देखा कि आम्फान के साइक्लोन के समय सुनामी के साइक्लोन्स चलाया गया, तो that we can verify from the dates and time. Now all about AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, generative AI. We all know how to use ChatGPT, Gemini and all this search generative AI tools basically or chatbots. But हम लोग सब बोलते हैं कि we are using artificial intelligence. तो ये basic understanding you must all know that artificial intelligence refers to the development of computer system that performs tasks which we human also do. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that enables computer to learn from experiences. When we feed information that it learns from those experiences, and when the next output it gives on the basis of that information. Then deep learning is a subset of machine learning that uses neural networks. छोटे छोटे neurons होते हैं. Say for example images, videos, text, all kind of information collected together, and then it can train itself to give you that kind of information, not essentially right. Then finally comes generative AI, which is a subset of deep learning that generates contents like text, image, videos, and code-based inputs. You all are master, I think. Generative AI ke ChatGPT and Gemini, you people uses. These are very useful tools, no doubt, but also always cross-check with the authoritative sources. These are some of the examples. Text to text, ChatGPT, Gemini, text to image, Midjourney, DALL-E, text to video, text to audio, Runway ML, we all know this. These are chatbots. Now these are also one of the methods you can also cross-check. Say for example, if you come across a document and you don't know the language, how you can understand whether this information, what is written in this particular page. We can do this using ChatGPT, like uploading the image, then also put input prompt like translate, summarize and identify possible context for this, and it will provide you with all the information. It can also generate this kind of information, we all know. This is another tool called Perplexity AI. Have any one of you used this one? It is very good for research, for verifying any kind of document. You can cross-check with this AI tool. For rigorous research, it is very helpful. Deepfake and AI generated image. Deepfake, we all know, it's a video of a person in which their face or body has been digitally altered so that they can appear to be someone else, typically used for maliciously or to spread false information. It is Oxford definition. These are some of the definition of deepfakes, cheapfakes, then synthetic and manipulated media. I will show you an example. What is this, deepfake or shallow fake? Huh? Yes, using celebrity, right? What about this? Deepfake or synthetic media? It is not a celebrity, but since the video has been created using AI tool called Sora, so it can be called synthetic media. These are the consequences. If you misuse AI, it can create deepfakes, and deepfake can cause a lot more of things like spread of misinformation, defamation, political manipulation, erosion of trust in media, psychological impacts on victims, sexualization, objectification and harassment of women, then socio-political polarization. These are some of the effects or cost of deepfakes. These are some of the clues to verify whether this image, video which are being generated, whether these are being generated using AI or not. What you can do is, you normally do, I know, means you people must be practicing this. You can zoom in the picture and find out is there any inconsistency or error which can be detected, which normally goes undetected. AI errors like hands of human figure, then image are the main source of error in AI generated. So you can look for these clues, body proportions, image appearances. These are some of the clues when the content is being posted on a social media platform. Comments, credential, building landmarks, number plates, audios, then source check, insignia, weather and signature. Key learning so far. I hope you have learned this much, I think. It is important to set back from obvious messaging. We don't immediately share any kind of information immediately. Be cautious with the posts that triggered emotion, extreme emotion. Verified handle does not mean always verified and credible information. Observe carefully, verify with credible sources, that is very important. Use fact-checking tools and techniques to verify content. What can you do? Now whenever you get any kind of information, always be skeptical about the responses you get from AI. Don't always randomly go by the result they gives. Also cross-check those results with verified news organization, verified sources. Always find credible sources for responses before you use them in any way. Always fact-check. That is very important. Thank you so much. No energy left. So we have a media literacy program. Can I share how many people are there in the, now we can, if we can create a group and for the activity? 78 we have. So we can form 7 groups and then I can assign them and then they can share those with either Jhumur ma'am or me. না আজকে তো হবে না খুব সম্ভবত. So let me brief you about media literacy championship program since we are done with the workshop. Now this is an opportunity to become a media literacy campaign, a media literacy champion. So these are some of the topics. Let me share. These are some of the activities you can choose from. সময় আছে ওদের মানে এক্সাম কবে থেকে শুরু হচ্ছে? So you can. Okay. So we can form a group from at least 70 people are there, no? Okay. So what we can do is we can form 7 groups, 10 each, and divide activities accordingly. Group leader ek ban jao. How we can do that? Those who are here today. So we need the list of the. We can also specify from respective colleges and universities. There are some other universities and colleges, I think. Students from. কেউ আছে যারা এসএনইউর বাইরে থেকে এসছো? কোথা থেকে? একটু লাউডলি বললে ভালো। সবাই ক্যালকাটা ইউনিভার্সিটি। কোথা থেকে? ইগনু আছে, কোথায় কোথায় আছে? আমরা এখান থেকে লিস্ট করে ডেকে নিচ্ছি। ক্যালকাটা ইউনিভার্সিটি থেকে একজন চলে আসো, আর একটা
জার্নালিজম ডিপার্টমেন্ট থেকে আছো ক্যালকাটা ইউনিভার্সিটি,
একজন চলে আসো।
এসো এটা কালেক্ট করো।
গ্রুপটা অ্যাটলিস্ট ফর্ম করে অ্যাক্টিভিটিস গুলো দিয়ে দিই।
এবার একে বললো
তুমি একটা লিস্ট করে নাও, হু এলস আর দেয়ার ফ্রম ক্যালকাটা ইউনিভার্সিটি। ইগনু থেকে কাম। কতজন আছে ইগনু থেকে?
How many students are from IGNU?
হ্যান্ডস আপ।
Okay.
আর
SGU, one from Dirosio College. West Bengal State University. Okay. Netaji Subhash.
কজন আছে? কাম। ডিরেজিও কলেজ থেকে এসেছে? আচ্ছা।
আর কেউ আছো এসএনইউ বাইরে থেকে? আউটসাইড এসএনইউ কেউ আছো? আর আচ্ছা, এসএনইউ থেকে এখানে আছে যারা নট ফ্রম মাস কমিউনিকেশন ডিপার্টমেন্ট। হুইচ ডিপার্টমেন্ট? ইংলিশ। আর অন্য কোনো ডিপার্টমেন্ট? হুইচ? পলিটিক্যাল সায়েন্স। প্লিজ কাম। সো এসএনইউ যেটা আউটসাইড মাস কম, ওদের নিয়ে একটা গ্রুপ তুমি করে দেবে। ওকে। একটা গ্রুপে তো তাহলে অ্যাক্টিভিটিস গুলো হবে না, সাতটা করে স্টুডেন্ট, 70।
যেহেতু কোনো কোনোটাতে একটাই একজনই আছে, তো
তখন কি হবে তাহলে?
একটা গ্রুপ ক্রিয়েট করেছি।
আমাকে একটা কাগজ দিয়ে এমনি
তুমি নাও।
ফর এটা হচ্ছে ফর দ্য ক্রিটিক্যালি ইনজিওর্ড ব্রেনস।
You can jot down the name.
আচ্ছা, মাস কম ডিপার্টমেন্ট পিজি, এসএনইউ মাস কম ডিপার্টমেন্ট পিজি, ইউজি থেকে কেউ আসো?
ওই তো যাও যাও।
নাও বলো।
Let me explain you the activities you all have to do. কেউ একজন করে আছে, one representation from one university or college. From which college? তুমি ডিরেজিও কলেজে জয়েন করে যাও। You have same HOD, I think. The Anirban is the HOD for both Horichadar Guruchad College and Direjio. So he can join there. Huh? No, for both. Huh? কেউ নেই তো, HOD নেই, কোনো ইয়ে নেই। That way. So write down the names কেউ যদি আলাদা থাকো কোনো একটা গ্রুপে জয়েন করো, একা করে যদি থাকো। আমিও পারছি না। ছেড়ে দিচ্ছে, হ্যাঁ। শোনো, এটা পোস্ট টেস্ট ফর্মটাও করে নাও এখনই, সাবমিট করো, তখনই সার্টিফিকেট পাবে, না হলে পাবে না। একটা করলে হবে না কিন্তু। লিঙ্ক পাঠানো আছে অনুষ্কা, এটা করে নাও, তখনই সার্টিফিকেট পাবে কিন্তু। একটা করলে হবে না, ফার্স্টটা করেছো হয়নি মানে হবে না। अनुष्का उस ग्रुप में भी डाल दो। Then I will explain the activities you have to do if you want to participate in the Fekshala Championship program. Additional certificates, and you may win a chance to visit Google's office in Southeast Asia, that is in Singapore. So collectively also you can participate. At the same time, individually I won't encourage you to participate individually. Rather you will participate as a group. So there are various ways through which you can create contents like reels explaining what media literacy is all about. Then you can also have, you can also record podcast. এগুলো activities করতে পারো as part of the media literacy Fekshala Championship program. Podcast আছে, interactive video আছে, social media campaign আছে. You can design contents or you can run campaigns on social media literating people about media literacy. তোমরা একটা যারা পেয়েছো group wise, you can also, those who have joined the group, I will share the tip sheet there as well. It's soft copy. ওইটা use করে you can develop some contents as podcast, as reels, social media campaign, road show বা street play ও তোমরা করতে পারো, which you can record and then submit. Open mic, folk art, online games, comic strip ও করতে পারো, interactive quiz ও করতে পারো. And it is a group activity. And you can submit আমি দিয়ে দিচ্ছি, email ID দিয়ে দিচ্ছি, you can submit your activities there. You can write down the email ID. Here you have to submit. You can take the picture of this and you can submit your activities here in this email ID. Sorry? Last date as early as possible, before 25th of April. কালকে বা পরশু 20 তারিখের ভেতরে করলে ভালো 20th 15 was the last date, so 20th will be we can consider 20th as the last date. আজকে 17th 18 19 20 yes. Not semi final, ekdam final. Anything, you can design a creative, you can record a reel explaining what is media literacy, misinformation, disinformation kya hai, how to verify videos using Google Lens. That way you can, these are some of the topics you can explore. As a group, aaj bhi karke de sakte ho, you can do this. If you have time. Have you all submitted post test form? ठीक है. They will tally and you will get direct certificate from Google itself. It will come to you directly. Soft copy in the email. Chalo, thank you so much.
This was our very first workshop in collaboration with Data Leads, and we hope it's the beginning of many more to come. And I would like to invite everyone to come up on stage for a group photo with Sir. If everyone could please come up.